When American troops first arrived in Europe during World War II, German soldiers couldn't help but laugh at their rifles. The Americans carried something bulky, mechanical, and strange, something that fired again and again without needing to be reloaded by hand. To the German eye, it looked like a flawed experiment, a clumsy piece of engineering that would jam or overheat the moment it was truly tested. They called it wasteful, unnecessary, even foolish. But the laughter didn't last long, because soon those same German soldiers would face that weapon on the battlefield, and the sound they once mocked, the sharp rhythmic fire of the M1 Garand, would come to haunt them. This is the story of how a single rifle silenced the laughter of the German army and reshaped the future of warfare. In the late 1930s, the German Wehrmacht believed it had perfected the art of infantry weaponry. The Karabiner 98K was their pride, a bolt-action rifle refined from the Mauser design that had served Germany since the 19th century. It was durable, precise, and easy to maintain. Soldiers trusted it. They could fire a round, pull the bolt back, and chamber another in a single smooth motion. It was craftsmanship they respected and understood. So when reports emerged that the Americans had armed their infantry with a self-loading rifle, many in the German ranks scoffed. Semi-automatic rifles were seen as unreliable curiosities, better suited for parades than war. A few German officers joked that the Americans were more interested in wasting ammunition than hitting their targets. After all, what army could sustain such reckless fire? To the disciplined German soldier, trained to make every shot count, the Garand seemed like an impractical luxury. What the Germans didn't grasp was how revolutionary the M1 Garand truly was. Designed by Canadian-American engineer John Cantius Garand, it was the world's first standard-issue semi-automatic rifle. It fired .3006 Springfield rounds from an 8-round en-bloc clip that automatically ejected with a metallic ping. Unlike bolt-action rifles, it allowed continuous fire with just a squeeze of the trigger. Soldiers could fire 8 shots in rapid succession, reload in seconds, and stay focused entirely on their target. For the first time in history, every soldier in an army had access to a weapon that gave them the firepower of 2 men. American industry had accomplished something extraordinary. It had mass-produced a complex precision weapon that could withstand the brutality of the battlefield. When American forces entered combat in North Africa and Italy, the difference was immediately clear. German soldiers were caught off guard by the intensity of American rifle fire. Skirmishes that would have been slow, deliberate exchanges became furious bursts of lead. German units pinned down by Garand-equipped troops often believed they were under attack by machine guns. One Wehrmacht officer wrote after the war, "It seemed as if every American had a machine gun." That statement wasn't far from the truth. The M1's rapid fire allowed US infantry to suppress enemy positions, maneuver under covering fire, and dominate close combat. Even when outnumbered, squads armed with Garands could hold their ground against larger German formations. The rifle's reliability only deepened its legend. Soldiers found that it performed in mud, snow, and rain, conditions that made many other weapons jam or freeze. In the dense hedgerows of Normandy and the freezing forests of the Ardennes, the Garand's semi-automatic action gave American troops the edge they needed. German soldiers soon realized the weapon they had mocked was not just powerful, but nearly unstoppable. Captured Garands were prized among enemy troops, some even choosing to use them instead of their own Mausers when ammunition could be found. The weapon's impact was psychological as much as physical. It made American troops feel invincible, and it made the enemy wary of engaging them head-on. As the war dragged on, German engineers scrambled to create a counterpart. The result was the Gewehr 43, a semi-automatic rifle inspired partly by the Garand success, but production was slow, plagued by material shortages and rushed design changes. Only a fraction of German troops ever received one, and by then it was far too late. The M1 Garand had already proven decisive in Africa, Italy, France, and across the Pacific. Wherever it appeared, German resistance grew weaker. The weapon's speed and dependability complemented America's industrial might, allowing the US to field not only a powerful army but one armed with superior technology. By 1944, the laughter that once greeted the M1 Garand had turned into a grim respect. German prisoners often remarked on the weapon's effectiveness. One captured soldier reportedly said, "Our rifles are fine, but yours are better." The Garand symbolized something larger than itself. It represented the might of American manufacturing, the power of innovation, and the belief that every soldier deserved the best tools available. It wasn't just a rifle, it was a statement of national confidence. General George S. Patton famously called it the greatest battle implement ever devised. Coming from a man known for his blunt opinions, it was high praise. The Garand gave the U.S. infantry the flexibility to fight aggressively, to advance where others would retreat, and to keep the enemy constantly off balance. It turned firefights into storms of lead and gave American troops the upper hand in countless engagements. When the war ended, more than 5 million Garands had been produced, each one contributing to the Allied victory in some way. Even after World War II, the M1 Garand continued to serve. It saw action in Korea and even early in Vietnam. Allied nations adopted it, and surplus rifles spread across the globe. For decades, it remained a symbol of precision and power, a reminder of how one innovation can redefine the battlefield. Today, historians, collectors, and veterans alike remember its sound, the steady rhythm of its fire, and the unmistakable ping of the ejected clip. To the German soldiers who first laughed at it, the M1 Garand was a mystery they didn't understand. To the men who carried it, it was a trusted companion that never failed them. And to history, it remains a masterpiece of design and engineering, a weapon that proved that progress, once unleashed, can be as decisive as any army. The Garand didn't just help win a war, it ushered in a new era of combat, one where speed, precision, and innovation ruled the battlefield. And in the end, it taught a timeless lesson. In war, the last laugh belongs to the one who's still standing.